Well, good morning from Odessa, Ukraine. I have a beautiful view of this massive mural right outside my window, and they have just arrived with breakfast, room service, that is provided free of charge. I've never heard that in my life. So I have some eggs Benedict here, which doesn't look like it has hollandaise, but it looks okay. Some toast and jam, coffee, juice, yogurt. Tomorrow I'm probably going to try the eggs because that doesn't look exactly up my alley, but that's okay. Absolutely incredible service here. I mean, who gives you room service and basically delivers it to your bed free of charge at any time you want? So very impressed with this place. It's called the Premier Geneva Hotel, $25 US, and it feels like $100 US. So I'm just walking down the road here in Odessa, Ukraine. You can see the old architecture here that is well before the Soviet era. So a lot of this is, turn of the 20th century. Very cool, relict old buildings pretty much everywhere. Some of them are newer than others, but there's definitely tons of derelict, crumbling beauty around Odessa. So this is the Philharmonic Concert Hall in the Odessa city center. It is styled in an Italian Gothic style. Pretty impressive building, the patterning on the front especially, and tons of quaint architecture even across the street here. So this was the largest city in the Ukraine until Kiev surpassed it. So there's tons of history here. It's a very important center, especially in the 19th century. I apologize for the shaky footage. The gimbal was left at the Warsaw airport because of the Belarus situation. So unfortunately, I don't have it with me to make things a little bit less shaky for you all. This impressive columned building is the Archaeological Museum. A lot of classical architecture here. It's really cool. And a lot of gardens with statues and so forth. It's definitely a beautiful sunny day here. So this is the Archaeological Museum. Very beautiful facade here in this columned building. So I'm going to be heading down towards the Opera House here in a few minutes, but definitely enjoying my time here. I'm going to try to cool down for a bit. It's about 25 degrees outside, way warmer because I am in the south of Ukraine facing Turkey. So I'm quite far south compared to Poland at this point. Definitely a very tranquil city. I didn't know what to expect. I've honestly never done any research on Odessa in my life. So I knew it was down here and it existed. I knew it was a seaport town, but I had no idea it was this attractive. And that is the beautiful Opera House of Odessa. So the Opera House is the cheapest opera house in the world, between 10 and 20 euros basically for a ticket for the opera here, making it one of the cheapest opera houses in the world if you're into opera. I'm not. So this is Durybashkaya Street, which is the main touristy street, I suppose, in Odessa. And across here, beautiful views of the Opera House down the road. So Odessa is definitely a coffee drinking city. There's cafes pretty much on every block, especially down in the tourist area. This is a pretty happening street. Lots of outdoor market type eating stalls and just people having a good time. It's really nice and pleasant out today. It's about 25 degrees. So there's definitely I need to spend some time outdoors today and enjoy the sunshine. So I had thought that Odessa was going to be quite drab, almost like an industrial port city. I had no idea what to expect. I knew there was some architecture here, but I had no idea that the city was this pleasant. So tons of alfresco dining options, a lot of that pre-Soviet architecture still standing, all that classical architecture. So Odessa's definitely beat my expectations in terms of an introduction to the Ukraine. You know you're in a beautiful city when even the McDonald's is beautiful. So this is the city garden in Odessa. Here is a beautiful fountain here at the entrance. You can see the colors of fall starting to come out here, not quite emerged yet, like Poland and other parts of Europe that I just traveled through. But you can see things are getting a little bit more yellow as the days go by here, I guess. So I'm going to head now to the Catherine Monument, which is one of the city's major landmarks, and then head down the Potemkin Stairs all the way down to the Black Sea coast. So it's definitely a really chill place. I mean, there's a lot of people just relaxing, and I don't know if anybody works around here, to be honest with you. Definitely a laid-back, very low-key city. Just a nice place to relax. So as you can see, not very many people are wearing masks, so that's just kind of the way it is around here. Even though their infection rates are quite high here, and this is considered a red area, thankfully there's enough room around me that I don't feel like I'm, infecting myself by getting too close to anybody, and I have my mask with me if I need it. It is a bit disconcerting because it is such a high rate here that the risk of getting infected is quite severe here. So I have to be extra careful not to stay around any person and really keep my distance in places like this park where you can basically separate yourself from humanity. Some beautiful vine-covered buildings here on the Catherine II Square. So if you look over here, this is the monument to Queen Catherine II. I'm gonna go see it from the front. But a nice city square here, that's for sure. So this is the monument to Tsarina, the wife of the Tsar, Catherine II, who founded the city of Odessa in 1794. All right, you can see the sun is starting to set a little bit here, getting lower on the horizon. I'm here at the very top of the Potemkin Steps, the staircase that leads down to the Black Sea. So I'm going to do the stairs all the way down, and then I'm going to ride the funicular back up. So you can see here, and it does pay to know Cyrillic. So I can read Cyrillic, so it's not hard for me, but you have to kind of sound it out. Funicular, right there. Very nice view from up here. So this was a very important entryway into the city, especially in the late 1700s and early 1800s, kind of in the infancy of modern-day Odessa. So that is the Black Sea. So directly across from here is Turkey. If we go just directly south, we'll reach the north coast of Turkey in about 40 hours of sailing, I believe. And the far coast of Georgia, I believe, Georgia, Russia, Sochi is in this direction, and the other direction you'll find Romania. So massive sea. I'm going to be heading down the steps now and then getting up the funicular. This is definitely underwhelming, but nice views of the harbor, I guess. All right, this is the funicular here in Odessa, and it goes pretty much not that far up the hill, right there. So that has got to be the shortest funicular ride I think I've ever seen in my life. The track is not even 100, probably 50 to 100 meters long. That's about it. Crazy. That is the cutest dog ever, little Yorkie. That is a cute puppy. All right, I'm back at the Archaeological Museum here during golden hour as the sun is rapidly setting and the colors are becoming very vibrant. And some really beautiful light coming off of the Opera House now as I make my way back towards the hotel. Alright, now at Foundation Coffee Roasters, I'm going to go in and try their brew. It's a pretty hip cafe. Alright, I'm at Foundation Coffee Roasters now, trying the cold brew. And this drink cost me about $1.75 US, or about $2.50 Canadian. Really reasonable prices here in the Ukraine. In the supermarket, and I just noticed they have an entire selection of bulk pierogies. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I would venture to say that only in the Ukraine are you going to get a bottle of wine, a full bottle of wine, with a $25 US room. That is incredible service. And a handwritten note thanking me for my stay. Cheers, I guess. There's so many pieces of urban art here in Odessa, kind of blocked by the motorcycle, but whatever. Well, good morning from Odessa, Ukraine. I'm just leaving the hotel now and heading down towards the train station. Check out the architecture of that building. Then I'm going to be heading by taxi likely to the beach. So I'm going to go check out some of the famous beaches here in and around Odessa, and then start heading to the airport about 3 o'clock. So I got about 3 hours to do the rest of the city justice here. It is a small place, so I'm not skipping anything by any means. At least anything major. I should get a good sense of it for the time I have here. But then it's off to the airport to head to Kiev. So this is the first Ukrainian Orthodox church that I've spotted here in Odessa. With signature onion domes on the top. So it's definitely an impressive piece of architecture. You can see some very interesting mosaics as well if you look closely towards the top awning there, just under the domes. You can see some highly detailed religious imagery. This is one of the busiest roads in Odessa, hence the crazy traffic and trams rolling by and so forth. Pretty beautiful though. So this is the Odessa train station, and you can tell that this is the busiest part of town for sure. Absolutely chaotic out there. So through this impressive building, you can catch a train to Kiev. The journey takes between 8 and 12 hours, depending on the level of service you buy. So one thing you can for sure count on whenever you're traveling around the former Soviet Union are these impressive railway stations. You can see how grand they are compared to some of the more mundane train stations you might encounter in North America. I mean, we have some nice ones, but it just seems that the Soviets were so intent on making their railway stations as beautiful as possible, and that's something that's true all over the former Soviet Union. So really beautiful views here in Odessa. You can see just how lovely the district is here around the train station with the beautiful Ukrainian church. However, there is some riffraff. This park here is full of vagrants. So there is people there that are basically homeless, and there is literally human feces scattered all across the entrance to the train station here. So they do have some social problems, but they make up for it with the beauty that surrounds it, I suppose. Well, they definitely have a well-developed transit system here, and this is the local bus station. Welcome to Odessa. And quite a few restaurants and establishments around here. It's actually one of the less sketchy transit areas that I've been to in the world, so that's saying something for Odessa. All right, I am now in Arcadia, which is the major beach destination here in Odessa. So it's definitely one of the beating hearts of the city, that's for sure. A lot of people out and about enjoying it, even though it's nothing near a beautiful summer day today. It's quite overcast and actually quite damp in the air, but people are out enjoying themselves and making the most of the day. So this is Arcadia Beach. The city's finest beach. It's very windy today, so you can see just how angry these seas are. You wouldn't necessarily want to go swimming in this, that's for sure. Tons of seagulls. This is definitely a beautiful beach resort if you were here in July, not October. But I'm glad I got to see it. I never saw the beach yet here in the Ukraine, so this is what you get. If you come to the Ukraine on beach holiday, just expect a lot of seagulls and some very strong surf by the looks of it. You can see these waves are so fierce, the water's actually coming right onto the pier. Definitely a storm brewing or something. Absolutely wicked water though, very cool. I've arrived here at Odessa Airport. I'm racing to get to the gate to check in for Kiev. All right, I'm definitely pushing it today. I got there with 1 minute to spare.
До аварійно-рятувальних засобів на літаку АТР-72. Ladies and gentlemen, safety of passengers is priority of our company. May we have your attention for the safety aspects of this ATR-72 aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, due to specific balancing features of this aircraft, we ask you to remain seated until we invite you for disembarkation.
All right, I just arrived here at Kyiv International Airport. I'm going to try to get some transportation out into the city center, where I'm going to be staying for the next 2 nights. This is the Kyiv main railway station. This is where the airport train arrives. You can see the train station's decked out with the flag colors of the Ukraine and each of the lights that you see here. I probably should have just taken a cab right from the airport because it worked out to be about the same price as all this dancing around with the train. But I've arrived here at the Pontiac Hotel where I'm going to be staying the next 2 nights. So this is the Pontiac Hotel where I'm going to be staying the next 2 nights. Pretty spacious room. I heard a lot of the reviews saying it's very small, but I was expecting, English type small. This is not at all small. So looks like a comfortable bed and a decent place to hang my hat. So this was about $45 US, including tax. Not too bad. And it includes a room service breakfast, just like in Odessa. So not too bad at all.